So we're going to move on to the second of 4 portfolios. Simek, who I know is with us. I feel like Whoopi Goldberg. Simek's with us in the room. I can feel it. Okay, Simek, what I would love to do is actually get these 3 gentlemen's perspectives, and then you come in afterwards and be like, yes, you are right. This is my vibe. This is who I am. This is what I do. Is that okay? Give me an amen. Yeah. Okay, perfect. All right, let's jump in. Take it away, boys.
Okay, Matt, you want to kick it off?
Let's do first impressions, just stream of consciousness stuff. And Mike, you spoke first, so it's on you, I'm afraid.
Well, first impression, without diving in, is texture artist. That's the first impression that I get, because there's a texture displayed in the first category, the red cube, and I also see some environments. So if I didn't review the portfolio, which I did do actually, that would be my first impression.
Brilliant. Kwame?
Likewise, I think, yeah,
Thoughts
definitely
about,
texture.
thoughts about heading out, the heading out series? That's my eyes are being drawn to that.
Yeah, I think I agree with Mike on the first impression would be texture artist. And then, yeah, let me just dive into the heading out. I think, Matt, you can click on one of them and then you can just have a look through.
That's actually part of a road movie game.
Sorry?
So the heading out is part of a road movie game, and Simic made the several maps for that game. That's my understanding, and that's what this series is about.
Yeah, I like the idea of maybe how he left it as black and white, keeping the focus on maybe the environment and the textures. I think that's good. Sometimes color can add a bit too much. You're not able to see where to focus at, so kind of shows you what gives direction to the eye and where you want someone to look. Mike, please feel free to jump in as well as we.
Yeah, maybe it was a game requirement. I mean, it's he created maps for the game, and maybe the game is in black and white, and that can be a challenge for if you're an artist and you're asked to do so, and you're limited to black and white, then you have to kind of open all registers to throw in everything you got to make it look great, right?
Definitely.
Because, yeah, I mean the other assets, they're in color, and specifically the heading out series, they're all in black and white. I think it has a certain appeal to it for sure. Matt, could you have a look at one of the heading out tabs to see if there's kind of a workflow breakdown?
I've just cycled through, actually haven't seen a workflow breakdown.
Yeah. So the work is solid for sure. It looks great, right? What I would be curious about is workflow, right? I mean, if I were interviewing and I received a portfolio as part of a cover letter, resume, that kind of thing, I would kind of want to know, okay, what is your thought process? How did you get to this point? What were your considerations? Did you have a mood board, storyboard, that kind of thing? So kind of the story behind the piece, if you will.
Agreed, yeah. The work is great. I like the textures, particularly with the skeletons. I think that came out really, really interestingly. And the challenge for black and white as well is lighting. In order to differentiate
whether we are going to hear from the artist himself,
yes,
because the feeling that I get from this is kind of the northwest of the U.S., so kind of Washington State vibe, and I'm kind of curious whether that's accurate or not.
So should we kind of invoke my powers to try and channel Simic into joining us by webcam? Bum bum bum.
Give me just a minute or so to also kind of address a couple of things that I would say or see.
Okay, Simic, start stretching.
Sorry, say again.
I told Simic to start stretching.
Ah, yeah. All right. So so far we just talked about the portfolio, right? So if I'm going to the about, basically, I'm an environment artist. The game that I worked on is 3 years. So that's cool. So there's the heading out, that's the production, right? Work, hiring info, skills, and so on. Then likes, I guess, tons of other stuff that he likes. The thing is that there's, let's say, nothing really personal in this. So in itself, it's just a page portfolio. This is why I don't like ArtStation for that matter, because it's more like a gallery. It's not in itself a portfolio that it's not complete, right? And so there's a ton of additional information that I would want to have, in the sense of kind of the CV and so on and so on. So it's more like I like the imagery, so it's a good starting point, but it's not a complete portfolio. Maybe this is clear to everybody, but I just wanted to push this out. Then the next thing that I basically see is just looking at the stuff that I see. So I see that these kind of belong together, right? So, and they are in themselves. That's a complete project. So I don't know ArtStation that well, but I would try to put them together. And because they are, let's say, the one, or let's say, of a complete body of work that encapsulates 3 years of work, this should be maybe at the front, or kind of front and center. And then what I see here is there's this cube thingy. It's like more design-ish. I would not naturally expect that there are these really nice design renders just behind this cube, right? So I just clicked on it because I was curious what could be there, but it's not. I mean, here it's clear that these things are inviting, and it says there's a lot more. This in itself doesn't say there's much more behind it. Then again, I'm not a very regular ArtStation user, but there's that, right? And so in general, kind of the other thing, that I also wanted to address is there's this terrain that was most probably made with either World Machine or another technology like the Houdini terrain tools. It's let's say cool as a technical test, but it's not finished. So if I would put this as a banner, I would go and actually finish it, paint over it, whatever it is, to truly make it like a finished piece of work. But otherwise, I see, for example, this stuff here. This looks beautiful. I always go to check the scale of things and like the realism of the edgeware. So where's the stuff really used, right? So I'm not gonna go into all of those details, but in general, like there's some definitely substance here, right? Yeah. So that was just
It's
my
cool with the
initial
multiple
thought.
maps, Matt, as well.
So,
Yeah.
okay, so what I'm hearing is you'd love to hear and feel and see and get a sense of the person, and luckily we have him right here. Simek, hi. Where are you right now?
Hi guys, I'm from Poland actually. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yes.
we can.
Okay.
Where'd you go? My gosh.
Sorry, I just misclicked something. I'm from Poland. As you guessed, this heading out was a project that I did. It was my first commercial, my first gig in the industry. So I put it separately, some maps separately to emphasize that most of my time in the industry I spent working on this project. But I think it's a good idea to put it on the front of my portfolio. I thought that nobody actually reads this about section in ArtStation, but I think it's a good idea to put something there as well. So thank you for that. And what I would like to know also is what is your general feel about this when you see it, when I apply for environment artist position, do you think that I should have more like environments or more models or more breakdowns of the models? I mean, the topology and stuff. What should I focus on mostly? Because right now my company, the company I was working for, just lost their funds, and I'm looking for a new job. But so far I've sent like more than 100 CVs, and it's not getting pretty well. So I guess there's maybe something wrong with my portfolio, and maybe you guys would advise on what to improve.
Let's go to Kwame, and then Mike, and then Matt. You can finish off. What specifically? Yeah, for new jobs and new job applications, Kwame, what would you like to see for
I mean,
environmental artists?
yeah, I'd want to ask CMAC a question. Do you send the link from your ArtStation to the clients, or I mean to the potential job companies, or how do you approach them?
I sent a resume with all the details, with my experience and stuff. I could actually, if you guys would want to review it, I could mail it to Matthias. Okay,
Yeah.
then I just.
All
So
right.
that
So
can
CV, and then with a link to your ArtStation, is it, or do you have a separate document with the projects that you worked on?
No. I got only the one pager on my resume with a link to my ArtStation with a clickable link, of course. And I just assumed that nobody wants to download something big, some big PDF with a lot of pictures. That ArtStation is easier to use also on the mobiles.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's cool.
Send it to conference@ice.art.
Okay, it's sent.
and while he's doing that, Kwame, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah. No. Definitely. So it's always good to have. I think I'll keep on. I love what Mike shared on the previous review, and it's all about what's the purpose of your application and what companies are you applying to? What do they work on? Are they game people? Are they more of an environment company, for example, in a visual effects field, or these different categories? That's the first thing. And ArtStation is a gallery, as Matthias said. I would encourage you to set up a simple Squarespace platform where you're able to even talk about, like a website of yours, where you're able to talk about whether it's heading out as its own topic, a breakdown of the various scenes, what you've done in the project, what's the conceptual from the inception of the project running all the way to the end. Right now, this feels like more like a gallery of, hey, check out my work, and then it feels like click here for more, or DM me for prices, if you see those people on Instagram doing that. But I think the idea would be to pretty much dive in further. For example, I liked the wall, for example, the old wall study. All right, let's talk about the old wall study. What inspired that? What's the use case of it? Talk about the tools and the experience, the timelines, and then those are the things that people want to know. I feel like ArtStation is good for as a portfolio. I would say I would encourage you to have a different platform, whether it's Behance or set up your own Squarespace or whatever, and break down each project with descriptions. I know people assume that reading as artists is not really a thing, but the people who hire for these positions look at, can you express yourself, and words do matter at that point. So definitely. Oh, I can see the CV here. I think Mike, you can also just step in as we transition to the CV. Yeah.
So I would like to bring something up that's probably going to put a smile on Matt's face when I say the words "why" game. And Matt knows where I'm going with this. So yesterday we had a producer that was also one of the panelists, right? And the producer is about business and is about money. And basically, they have to make the numbers work, right? Now, if you submit your portfolio, or if you have a portfolio to begin with, then the name of the game is to convince them that you can add value. You can add value as an employee, you can add value to a project, and at the end of the day, you can contribute to their bottom line so they finish their project on time, on budget, in the required quality, and hopefully they make a profit so they can live to work another day, right? So the why game is basically, when you create a portfolio, I would say why. Why did you create a portfolio? And you might say, well, because I'm an environment artist, right? And I would say, okay, so why are you an environment artist? Well, because I love to make environments, okay? So you send a portfolio to me. Why did you do that? So if you can answer for yourself why on multiple levels, then you have a very, very clear understanding of what markers you need to hit when you create your portfolio and submit it, right? So switch roles and sit at the desk of the person you're sending that portfolio to, right? They're looking for somebody in the team. They don't just want to know whether you can create environments or not. They want to know whether, if they have a project meeting, you will sit there and be quiet, or you're the kind of person that jumps in with ideas, right? Or you, in your free time, work on concepts that you then throw in and say, listen, this might not be what you're looking for, but hey, this is what I came up with. So it goes way beyond the content of your portfolio. It's very much about you as a person, how you interact in that team, how you interact in that business, and whether at the end of the day you will add value to whatever they're doing, right? So, and if you can answer these questions by showing your existing portfolio, then you have a pretty good idea that you're on track. And if there are gaps when you answer these questions, then you know what to work on. Does that make sense, Matt?
Yeah, no, absolutely. By the way, I really want to know why only these signs are yellow. Only these signs, everything else is, but they must be like, they must have something to do with the gameplay. But I mean, I see all of these details. No, but back to Mike's points. I fully agree with that, right? So let's say you own your game studio. Now there's a person that applies to your studio, and so you ask, why do you want to come work for me with in my game studio? And then the person says, well, I like to create 3D environments. Then the person, or the interviewer, or let's say you as a company owner, will say, well, yeah, I also like to scroll through TikTok or watch YouTube videos. But that doesn't help my company, right? Just because you like doing something, it's still a business, right? And so what you're, again, it's really important that what you want to show is not the actual pictures, is what you want to show in through a portfolio is how a potential employer, studio where you want to work at, can use your talent and basically instrumentalize your energy, your love for doing something that is aligned with the company's vision. If you do these, let me put it like this: it's a luxury in today's age if what you're doing to let's say win your bread, earn your money, is actually aligned to what you like to do, then that's perfect. Or that's very, let's say that's quite rare, and that's kind of something that we should all strive for, right? But the argumentation of that you like to do something doesn't help the business vision, right? So the communication needs to come instead of, I like to do these things, therefore please hire me. I'm not here, let's say the company is not there to hire you, to give you time to entertain yourself with stuff that you like to do. And so you have to communicate from the other side, if that makes sense, right? So it's about and you can do this really well with Mike's why game, right?
Brilliant. Thank you so much. And I hope this was useful. Simek, do you have any other questions? Because it's very brave of you to come out and do this, and we really hope that it does help your job hunt.
Well, thanks. The only question I got left is about this heading out. I know what Mike said about the process, about showing the process, but in the case of heading out, the publisher, Saber, I had NDA signed, and it didn't allow me to show any unfinished work in my portfolio. So, do you guys have some ideas how to, I don't know, what to do about it? Do you have guys an idea?
Yes. I mean, first of all, honoring NDAs is always an extremely important thing, right? Because if you go online and share things you shouldn't, then a potential employer might think, well, you don't really take NDAs very seriously. So if I hire you when you're working with my stuff, right, how trustworthy are you that you're not going to share that online? So it's critical to not, hurt that trust, if you know what I mean. Now, what Gomez said before is if you're working on NDA stuff, it's very important to spend time on personal projects, right? They should reflect your passion, they should reflect your work. And if you, let's say, create one piece every month or every quarter, for example, and you display that on your portfolio and you pay attention to what's behind the curtains, if you know what I mean. What is your thought process? Did you create a mood board? Do you have a storyboard? What's your workflow? This is even, I would say, equally important than the final result, right? And that's what I would do to kind of circumvent the whole NDA thing, but try to get a balanced portfolio that tells your narrative that you are an environment artist and that's what your passion is.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you guys very
and
much for all the insights.
yeah,
Thank you so
nice.
much. And thank you for submitting, and thank you for being brave, and thank you for being at ICE. We'll see you in 2025.